imagination. Why, yes, someone is coming. A short woman in a blue scarf. Huh, who can it be, I wonder?
Dobchinskaya, Mama.
Dobchinskaya? I tell you it is not Dobchinskaya. Oh, you, come here, quick!
It is Dobchinskaya, it is!
Of course you've got to contradict. I tell you it is not Dobchinskaya.
Well, Mama, isn't it Dobchinskaya?
Yes, I see now. Why do you argue about it? Hurry up! Oh, you're so slow. Speak from where you are, it's all the same. What? He's very strict. And what about my husband? Oh, she's so stupid. She won't say a word until she's in the room. Now tell me, aren't you ashamed? You're the only one I'd rely on to act decently. And they ran off and you after them. And so now I'm able to find out a thing. Aren't you ashamed? I stood godmother to your Vanichka and your Lizongo. And this is how you treat me?
Godmother, upon my word, I read so fast that I'm all out of breath. How do you do, Maria Antonovna? Good afternoon, Antonovna.
Well, tell me, what's happening at the inn?
I have a note for you from Anton Antonovich.
What is he? Who is he? A general?
No, not a general, but every bit as good as a general. Such dignified manners.
Ah, so he's the same one my husband received a letter about.
Exactly. It was Ivana Ivanovna and I who first discovered it.
Okay. Well, what sort of looking man is he?
He's fair, and his eyes dart about like little animals. Well, I'll tell you how it went. Well, it's all right now, thank the Lord. At first he received Anton Antonovich rather roughly. He was angry and said he wouldn't come to the inn. He didn't want to go to jail on account of it. But when they got to talking more intimately, and he found out that Anton Antonovich was not to blame, he changed right away. They've gone now to inspect the Philanthropic institutions. I confess that Anton Antonovich had already begun to suspect that a secret denunciation had been lodged against him. I myself was trembling a little too.
What are you to be afraid of? You're not official.
Well, you see, when a grand noble speaks, you feel afraid.
That's all rubbish. Tell me, what sort of looking man is he?
I already said that. Your brain is so scattered.
Okay, well, what is he like personally?
He's young, a young man about 23, but he talks as if he were older. If you allow me, he says. I will go there and there, he says. He does it all with such distinctions. I like, he says, to read and write, but I am prevented because my room is rather dark.
Let me see what my husband writes. I hasten to let you know, dear, that my position was extremely uncomfortable. But relying on the mercy of God, 2 pickles extra and a half portion of caviar. 1 full with 25 kopecks? I don't understand. What have pickles and caviar got to do with it?
Oh, well, Anton Antonovich hurriedly wrote on a piece of scrap paper. There's a kind of a bill on it.
Ah, yes, I see. But relying on the mercy of God, I believe all will turn out well in the end. Get a room ready quickly for this distinguished guest. The one with the gold wallpaper. Don't bother to get any extras for dinner because we'll have something at the hospital with Artemy Filipovich. Order more wine and tell Adrienne to send the best, or he'll wreck her whole cellar. And kiss your hand, dearest, and remain yours, Anton Skaboznik Lukanovsky. Oh my! I must hurry! Oh, hello! Avdotia! Listen, run up to Adriene's. Wait, I'll give you a note. Give this to Cedar, the coachman. Tell him to give it to Adrienne. Get a room ready, the one with the gold wallpaper. Put everything you might need in it. A bed, a wash basin, and a pitcher. And everything else.
Well, Godmother, I'll be going now to see how he does the inspection.
Go on, I'm not keeping you. Now, Michaela, we must attend to our toilette. He's a metropolitan swell, and God forbid he should make fun of us. Now, you'll put on your red dress, the one with the little flounces. It's most becoming.
The red dress? The idea! I can't bear it. Kina wears red, and so does Dobchinskaya's daughter. I'd rather wear my flower dress.
Your flower dress? Of course, just to be contrary. No, you'll wear your red dress, because I'm going to wear my gold dress. I love gold.
It isn't a bit becoming to you.
What? Gold isn't becoming to me?
No, it isn't. I'm positive it isn't. One's eyes must be quite dark to go with gold.
Isn't that
my breath first. Lord, what a wretched life. On an empty stomach, any load seems heavy.
Say, Uncle, will the general be here soon?
What general?
Your master.
My master. What sort of general is he?
Isn't he a general?
Yes, he's a general, only the other way around.
Is that higher or lower than a real general?
Higher.
Gee, that's why they're raising such a racket out of here.
Look here, young lady. I see you've got brains. Get me something to eat, won't you?
We haven't anything ready yet for the likes of you. You wanted plain food. When your master takes his meal, we'll let you have the same as he gets.
But have you got the plain stuff?
We have cabbage soup, porridge, and pie.
That's all right. We'll eat cabbage soup, porridge, and pie. We'll eat everything. Come, help me with the valise. Is there another way to go out there?
Yes.
Excellent institutions. I like the way you show strangers everything in your town. In other towns, they didn't show me a thing.
Well, in other towns, sir, if I may venture to observe, the officials and authorities look out for themselves more. But here, we have no other thought than to win the government's esteem through good work, honor, and vigilance.
The lunch was excellent. I've positively overeaten. You set such a fine table every day.
Oh, yes, in honor of so distinguished a guest as you, of course.
That's what a man likes, to eat well. As for me, I like to pluck the flowers of pleasure. What was that fish called?
Lagarde.
Ah, precisely. It was delicious. Where was it we had our lunch? In the hospital, wasn't it?
Precisely in the hospital.
Ah, right, I remember. There were beds. There didn't seem to be very many patients, though. Suppose some of them got well?
About 10 are left. The rest recovered. The place is so well run. There is such perfect order. It may seem incredible to you, but ever since I've taken over the management, they all recover like flies. And we manage this not so much by medicines as by honesty and orderliness.
In this connection, may I venture to call your attention to what a brain-racking job the office of governor is. There are so many things he has to give his mind to, just in connection with keeping the town clean and repairs and alterations. Another governor, of course, might look out for it only for his own advantage. But believe me, even nights in bed, I lie awake thinking to myself, praying, oh God, how can I manage things in such a way that the government observes my devotion to duty and is satisfied? Well, upon my word, I don't even crave honors. Honors, of course, are alluring, but as against the happiness which comes from doing one's duty, they are nothing but dross and vanity.
Do not, scoundrel. How he holds forth. I wish the Lord and West would meet with such.
I admit that is so. Sometimes I like to philosophize too. Sometimes it comes out prose, and sometimes it comes out poetry.
He says such great things. It's obvious that he's an educated man.
Tell me, have you any amusements here? Any circles where we have a game of cards?
Oh, no, sir. We have never heard of such a thing as card-playing circles. Oh, I don't even know how to play. What is a card? Well, Once I made a house of cards for the children, but then I dreamt of those confounded things the whole night long. Oh, heavens! How one can waste their precious time playing cards.
You're a man. 100 rubles the other day, the rascal.
I'd rather employ my time for the benefits.
Oh, that is rather going too far. You must admit, I mean, it's acceptable if you pass when you have enough to cover mistakes, but don't try to tell me that a good game of cards is very tempting sometimes.
Permit me to introduce my family, my wife and my daughter.
I am delighted, madam, to finally have the pleasure of meeting you.
Our pleasure in meeting so distinguished a person is greater still.
On the contrary, my pleasure is the greater.
Impossible! You condescend to say it to compliment me. Won't you please sit down?
Just to stand near to you is bliss. However, since you ask, I will sit down. I am just so happy to be at your side at last.
I beg your pardon. I dare not take all the nice things you say to myself. I say you must have found traveling extremely unpleasant after living in the capital.
Oh, extremely unpleasant. I am accustomed, comprenez-vous, to live in the fashionable world, and to suddenly find myself on the road with dirty inns and dark rooms and rude people. I confess it were not for this chance which compensated me for everything.
Oh, I cannot believe it. You do me much honor. I don't deserve it.
Oh, but madame, you do deserve it. You do deserve it, madame.
I live in a village.
Well, after all, a village too has something. It has hills and brooks. Of course, it's not to be compared with St. Petersburg. Oh, St. Petersburg, what a life to be sure. You may think I'm only a copying clerk. No, I am on friendly footing with the chief of our department. He slaps me on the back. Come, brother, he says, and have dinner with me. I just stop into his office a couple minutes before to say that this is to be done so, and that is to be done that way. If any of you should find yourself in the capital, do stop by. But gentlemen, why are you standing? Please sit down.
Oh no, our rank is such that we
You don't know.
Oh, sit down without the rank. I don't like ceremony. On the contrary, I always like to slip by unobserved. But it's impossible to conceal oneself. Impossible. No sooner do I enter a place than they say, "There goes Ivan Alexandrovich." Once I was even taken by the commander-in-chief. All the soldiers rushed out of the guardhouse and saluted. Afterward, an officer entered and approached my said to me, "Why, old chap, we completely mistook you for the commander-in-chief."
Well, I declare.
Oh, I know pretty actresses. I've written a number of vaudevilles, you know. I frequently meet literary men. I am on intimate footing with Pushkin. I often say to him, "Well, Pushkin, old boy, how goes it?" So-so, he'd reply, "As usual." He's a great original.
So you write too? How thrilling it must be to be an author. I suppose you must write for the papers as well.
Yes, for the papers too. I am the author of a lot of works. The Marriage of Figaro, Robert de Diable, Norma, and others. I can't remember them all now. Besides, I did it just by chance. I hadn't meant to write, but a theatrical manager said to me, "Why, old chap, why won't you please write something for me?" I thought to myself, "Oh, why not?" So I did it all one evening, surprised everybody. I am extraordinarily light of thought. All that has appeared under the name of Baron Brabius was written by me.
What? So you are Brandius?
Why, yes, I revise and whip all their articles into shape. Smear gives me 40,000 for it.
So I suppose Yaroslavsky is yours too?
Yes, it's mine.
I guess so at once.
But Mama, it says it's by his ghost skin.
There, I knew you'd be contradicting even here.
Why, yes, it is by Zagoskin. There was another here in Yaroslavsky. And that one was written.
That's right. I read yours. It's charming.
I admit, I live by literature. I have the first house in St. Petersburg. It is well known as the house of Ivan Alexandrovich. If any of you should find yourself in St. Petersburg, do stop by. I give balls too, you know.
I can guess the magnificence of those balls.
Oh, immense. For instance, watermelon will be served costing 7 100 rubles. The soup comes in the tureen straight from Paris by steamer. When the lid is raised, the aroma of the steam is like nothing else in the world. After dinner, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the French, the English, and the German ambassadors and myself have formed a circle for playing whist. We have so much fun, we kill ourselves over the cards. Afterwards, I run home up the stairs to the 4th floor and tell the cook, what am I saying? I forget, I live on the 1st floor. One flight up cost me my foyer in the morning before I arise is an interesting spectacle indeed. Counts and princes jostle each other and humming like bees. All you hear is buzz, buzz, buzz. Sometimes the minister. Once, I even had the charge of a department. A strange thing happened. The head of the department went off, disappeared. No one knew where. Of course, there was a lot of talk about how the position would be filled, who would fill it, and all that sort of thing. There were ever so many generals hungry for this position. And they tried, but they couldn't cope with it. It was too hard. So when they saw they could manage, they came to me. In an instant, the streets were packed full of couriers and couriers everywhere. 35,000 of them. Imagine. Pray, picture the situation yourself. Ivan Alexandrovich, do come and take directorship of the department. I admit, I was a little embarrassed. I came out of my dressing gown and I wanted to decline, but I thought to myself, all right, why not? So I said to them, I'll accept the position, so be it, I'll accept, but no. Look sharp, what was the word with me? Look sharp. And so it went through the offices of my department. It was a regular earthquake. Everybody trembled and shook like leaves. Oh, I don't like to joke. I got them thoroughly scared, I tell you. Even the Imperial Council is afraid of me. And that is the sort I am. I don't spare anybody. I am everywhere. I am everywhere. Tomorrow, they're going to make me a field marshal. What is it? What is it? It's all nonsense.
Your Excellency. Would you like to rest, perhaps? We have a fine room and everything you might need.
Nonsense rest. However, I am ready for a rest. Your lunch, gentlemen, was fine. I am satisfied. I am satisfied. Lagarde.
Now that isn't what I call a man, mine, Nora. That is what I call a man. I've never been in the presence of such a high personage. What do you think is his rank? I think he's almost a general. And I think a general isn't worth the sole of his boots. But if he is a general, then he must be the generalissimo himself. Let's go find Kieran and tell him all about it. Bye now, Mother.
It makes your heart sink and you don't know why. Suppose he wakes up, he goes and sends a report about us to St. Petersburg. Bye, then.
Goodbye, Adrienne.
Oh, how charming he is!
Perfect, dear.
Such refined manners! You can recognize the big city article at once. How he carries himself and all that sort of thing. I'm in ecstasies, absolutely beside myself. I must say he liked me very much. He was looking at me all the time.
But, Mama, he looked at me.
Oh, no more nonsense, please. Set in place now.
But really, Mama, he did look at me.
You mustn't argue now. You mustn't. That's enough. Why would he be looking at you? Please tell me, why would he be looking at you?
But it's true, Mama. He kept looking at me. He looked at me when he began to speak about literature. And he looked at me afterwards when he told about how I played whist with the ambassadors.
Well, maybe he looked at you once or twice and thought to himself, well, I'll give her a look. What is it?
I wish I hadn't given him so much to drink. Suppose even half of what he said is true. Well, how can it not be true? A man in his cups is always on the surface. What's in his heart is on his tongue. Well, maybe he fibbed a little. No talking is possible without some lying, right? Oh, plays cards with the ministers, visits the court. Oh, I'm as dizzy as if I were standing on a belfry or about to be hanged the double ticket.
And I didn't feel the least bit afraid at all. All I saw was a high-toned, well-cultured man of the world. And and his ranks and titles didn't make me feel the least bit queer.
Oh, you women. Say women and enough said. All of a sudden you blab out words that don't make the least sense. Well, for you, the worst you get would be a flogging, but it means ruination to the husband. And say, my dear, you were pretty familiar with him, weren't you?
Don't worry about that. Leave that to us.
Oh, that's the good of talking to you. Right. I've told ya! Call the sergeants here. They're by the gate. Oh, how in the world can you tell what he is? Kept it up so long and time in the inn, got off in a bunch of ambiguities and allegories you couldn't make head or tail of it. Now he's finally shown himself up at last. Spouted even more than was necessary. It's evident he's a young man.
Oh, come here, my good man.
Tell me, is he asleep?
No, not yet. He's stretching himself a little.
Tell me, what is your name?
Oh, sit, madam.
That'll do. Now, friend, did they give you a good
Oh,
meal?
tell me, does your master have lots of counts and friends visiting him?
Yes, counts do visit him.
Oh, sit down and see your master just great.
Oh, so please tell me how do you...
Do stop now, you just interfered with your silly questions. Now, my friend, tell me, how is it that your
Oh,
master...
tell me, what is your master's rank?
The usual rank.
For heaven's sake! Stupid questions keep a man from getting down to business. Now tell me, friend, what kind of a man is your master? Is he strict? Does he rag and bully a fellow? You know what I mean? Does he or doesn't he?
Yes. He likes things to be just so. He insists on things being just so.
I like your face. You must be a fine man, friend.
Oh, so tell me, does your master wear uniform and things?
Stop enough of your silly tattle. This is a serious matter, a matter of life and death. Yes, friend, I like you very much. And it's rather chilly now. Well, when a man is traveling, an extra glass of tea or so is welcome. So here are some rubles for tea.
Thank you. Much obliged to you, sir. God grant you health and long life.
Oh,
You helped the poor man.
don't mention it. I was glad to do it.
Oh, so tell me, what kind of eyes does your master like most?
Oh, sit down. What did you notice your master has?
Stop! Let me speak. Tell me, friend, what does your master care for most? I mean, when he's traveling, what does he like?
As for sights, he enjoys whatever happens to come along. But what he likes most of all is to be received well and entertained well.
Entertained well.
Yes, for instance, I'm nothing but a serf. And yet he sees to it that I should be treated well too. Say we'd stop at some place and he'd ask, "Well, Osip, have they treated you well?"
No.
Ah, he'd say, "Osip is not a good host. Remind me when we get home." Oh well, thinks I to myself, I am a simple person. God.
I've given you something for tea. Let me give you something for buns.
Thank you. Much obliged to you, Excellency. I shall drink your health, sir.
Oh, so come with me. I'll give you some too.
Oh, sit down. Kiss your master for me.
Don't make a sound now. Go, that's enough.
Come, Michaela. I must tell you something I noticed about our guest.
Oh, let them talk all they like. If you went and listened to them, you'd have to stop up your ears. Well, now, friend, tell me, your master, does he enjoy... Oh. Stop your boots on the floor. Where is the devil? Get them out. Go, friend, and get things... As for you three, go out onto the steps and don't you dare budge from the spot. Don't let a single person into this house, especially the merchants. And if you do, oh, and if you see anyone with a petition against me, or even without a petition, then look as if they want to present a petition against me. Don't hesitate a moment. Take them by the scruff of the neck, give them a good kick, and throw them out. Now,